Now that the Nikon ZR is out, we got the giant screen, red raw. It's like, okay, now all the Nikon fan pimps are trying to suggest to you that Nikon's here now, they're the best, they're overlooking all the glaring obvious flaws. Like autofocus, it's like Canon, I swear. Stabilization, have you heard of Panasonic? Basically this. Let's come back down to earth and just breathe for a second. Is Nikon better than Canon now?
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So we're on the Nikon Z6 III with the 40mm Tony 2. I have a lot of ideas here where Nikon sits. Now that the ZR is here, that's a hot damn decent option. It's lighter weight than this, it has a bigger screen, and it has red raw. Everything else is basically the same, but the Z6 III was already a good option. Now it's even better. Not much, but slightly more. Little side rant though, Nikon, your cameras devalue very quickly, it seems. Like within 5 months, Nikon will lower the price drastically of your camera, and when you go to sell it, it's like this thing was, I think, $3,300 plus tax. We're looking at like $3,700. I bought it for roughly $2,100. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't add up. Who died in that transaction? Someone. So I took both the Canon and the Nikon out for a little street battle. We'll play that soon. But I have a lot of ideas here. If you're thinking, because all the shill tubers now are like, Nikon's the go-to, and everyone's like, yeah. Here's some things you're gonna notice as a Nikon user. One, your dynamic range is worse than most. It's like class trailing. Even though you're full frame, you're worse than Fuji APS-C, you're worse than a lot of things. It's quite bad, even though you have this red raw. Oh, the new, like, red cameras are filmic and super high dynamic range. You're not getting the same thing. It's not even close. You're gonna be clipping. I've just finally discovered that I don't have to clip my face. Nikon autofocus, it's quite reliable. It's just, you don't know what to look for. I see it all the time. I know when I come to the camera, it hunts to the nose first and then the eye. I know to look for that in other people's footage, and I see it immediately, whereas you might not even notice. Maybe their speed settings are so fast, it happens so quickly you didn't even see it coming. But Nikon is not Canon level, definitely not Sony level. You're better than Fuji. I would say you're probably better than Panasonic too. From what I've seen, Pennyboy hunts. Nikon doesn't hunt much, at least. You're not a werewolf. And also Nikon stabilization is not very good. It jerks. There's 2 modes. You never know which one to use because neither of them are perfect. There shouldn't really be 2 modes. For wildlife, it was so much better in the normal mode. But then if you move, it's not good. So you switch it into sport if you're gonna move, but sometimes you're not moving. And when you're in sport, it's all over the place when you're just there handheld. So there's no perfect mode. Nikon, you're a bad boy. Like I personally am desperate to try the ZR with the 26mm 2.8 just because it's lighter than this and it might be the lightest thing we have, but I know deep inside it's not going to be very stable. You're going to be annoyed. It's going to be jerking around, but it's kind of light. Full frame, you can get the slow-mo street stuff. It's good enough. All right, let's play a little montage here. We got Canon R5 II with the RF 28mm 2.8 glimmer glass engaged versus the Nikon, not fair at all, don't even pretend it's fair, the 35mm 1.4, also with a glimmer glass. Black Pro Mist. Let us see it. So what you probably noticed from that footage that you watched at real-time speed and didn't skip ahead at any moment, you watched the whole thing because you have an attention span of more than a goldfish, and I appreciate your attention today. I noticed that the Nikon looks better out there. Just the red LUTs, it's more filmic. Is that even the word? It's more cinematic, bro. It's like, it's just better looking for some reason. Canon's a little more clinical. But like in here, Canon skin tones, you can't beat it. You can't beat a C-Log 2 skin tone magic. Huh? Huh? That guy. 24mm 1.4 over there? Huh? Not bad. 50mm, oh, what are you doing to us right now? It's worse? That's fine. Don't worry about that. But the reality is Nikon bought a cinema company, and now they have cinema inputs. And Canon, the directions of both companies are very different. You have Canon walking in the direction of high resolution, I didn't say that weird, you suck at hearing. Super sharp lenses, like when they came into the mirrorless game, immediately the EOS R, their first camera was like 33 megapixels. Don't quote me on that. It was like super high, and then immediately the R5 with 8K, and it's like, what are we doing, man? No, that's not your direction. And they continue to go down that. Even their cinema cams now are super high megapixels, very sharp and clinical. All their lenses, all flat and clinical. Not a lot to look forward to. It's not my thing. If you want to document spiky plants or something, Canon, not bad. Or you're making a cartoon, it's very cartoony colors, fun and happy. It's cool. But like for the cinema side, Nikon is going down this path where it's like, okay, we're in a dark forest, a little backlit tree over there, red color science, okay, not bad. Let's make all our lenses have 3D pop like our vintage ones. Ooh. So like they're heading in this vintage style, that speaks to me, but they're nowhere near as polished as Canon. It's not even close. With the autofocus, the stabilization, like Canon's just so much better, smoother, everything about it. Nikon, you have a lot to do. Just because you bought a cinema company, they couldn't autofocus either. What the hell? So if we're looking side by side some of the extra clips that didn't make it into the montage because they were terrible. Nikon had that autofocus on that girl, but then it refused to go to these two, which I really wanted this guy in his jacket. I was like, oh, that's cool. Never did get him. This guy rudely staring at my camera. Yes, you're in a movie, relax. Lady on the left with that coat, come on, that's a really huge coat. That's cool. But like, is it a filmic look? Not overly. It's just kind of there with your lenses, and the 28mm 2.8 has to be one of the worst lenses I've ever used in the sense that the autofocus is not reliable. There's no lens hood, so I see all kinds of lens flares all the time. It focus breathes pretty hard, and it's pretty flat. Sometimes I think I see the pop, but for the most part, I don't see much pop, and it's a very modern, clinical look. Whereas Nikon has so many options in this field, like at least 5 poppy lenses right now. So right now I have my Canon R5 II, and I use 3 EF lenses, and they're beautiful. But I don't love the weight of them. If I'm gonna go do slow-mo street stuff, it's like the 50mm 1.2, it looks glorious. Autofocus works better than the 28mm, but it's so heavy and noticeable that I'm filming you. It's like, it's not discreet, it's not fun. It's just for the human face pretty good, and the autofocus reliable. The problem is all the RF lenses are so bad and sharp, and every time I see something like, oh, there's new VCM lenses coming, it's like, I don't care, they're all bad. There's nothing coming for RF mount. So like the one chance we had was that low element count 28mm, and like they cheaped out so hard that the autofocus doesn't work, and it's just such a bad, cheap lens. Might sell that thing off. Whereas Nikon has the 26 and the 28mm 2.8, both poppy, both light, somewhat cheap. 26mm more expensive, smaller though. So that's the one I would lean towards. Then the 40mm Tony 2 we're on, we got the pop, vintage touch, very cheap. And then 35mm 1.4, decent, you're getting up there in the price. Oops, 50mm 1.4, cheaper, but still popping. Those are like 5 poppy lenses right there. All modern autofocusing, even still worse than Canon with an adapted lens, but it's modern, but vintage. Sometimes I have to sit down and ask myself, say I was moving, I was traveling, something's different. We're taking my life on the road. I'm just gonna like bring one camera. Would I choose Canon or Nikon? The answer is food. It's the oldest trick in the book. Oh, we're on the Fuji medium format. It's also a 40 mil. We were on Tony 2 for some reason. Now we're Tony 0.95, of course. Autofocus never falters. So like, if I was to choose, I'd have to honestly look at myself deeply and think, is that R5 worth it? I think it would be a lot more fun to have the Nikon. I think I'm leaning, I know I changed my mind quite a bit, but Nikon ZR, boom, 2 batteries and a charger. Doesn't come with the camera, whoops, that sucks. I still have only 1 battery for my Nikon. Where's my dual charger? But that with the 26mm 2.8, I could vlog with that. I could probably do street stuff with it. I could do this. It wouldn't look that nice, but like you also get the 40mm Tony 2 and there's your 2 lens setup. Just a slight more punch-in portrait style and a little more background blur. And that's super lightweight for travel-friendly stuff. And you have Nikon Red RAW, which I don't know if it's good or not. I know I can just rename my files. I've seen that. And nav to the red, and then I get Red RAW, but it doesn't look right, it doesn't feel right, it's wrong. But y'all know I started this channel in Thailand. I was traveling, so I just had my X3000 and the G85 for a little more serious stuff. And like, if I was heading back to that type of lifestyle, I'm not hinting at anything, but DJI Pocket 3 and then 1 camera. And which would I choose? You couldn't bring this. Imagine traveling with this thing and then it can't do anything else. And the HD is so line skipped in 60 frames, like forget it. You could theorize Fuji X-H2S, but why not give Nikon a chance? They're basically Fuji but more polished, cinema look, and it's somewhat light. With that little setup, there's nothing you couldn't do. So like Canon, you're a bit too clinical and I don't like the direction you're heading. You made 1 really nice camera, the C70. That's like, wow, low megapixel, like you still couldn't beat that thing. I could see a world where my R5 II gets sold just for the C70, just for the skin tones. So we'll have to see how all this pans out, but I like Nikon's direction, the trajectory that they're heading in should have them in a much better place in a couple years than Canon's clinical nature. So we'll see if they can catch up on the autofocus and the stabe. So do you agree that Nikon's direction is better, more vintage style and good, that's a good thing? Or do you hate that and like, oh man, I'm so glad Canon went the sharp route. I need 12K, can't wait for that. I have seagulls to film. Maybe you do. The real answer is Fuji. Never go anywhere but. I'll be leaving after Bitcoin leaves you towards me. What's he saying at the intro? I just got a comment. I've been watching for years and I still can't figure out what you say at the end. You haven't been watching for years because I used to say it a lot slower. So you would know. I caught you in a lie. Subscribe for more content.